What's going on, guys? It's Matthew here with Gadget University, and I'm here with a review for the Motorola Droid RAZR MAXX. I'm going to go ahead and get right into the review and start off with what I do not like about this device. First off, I do not like motor blur. As I tried. The motor blur skin is just hideous to me. The blue hue to it, the icons, the app drawer, I'm just not a fan of it at all. There are some benefits to it, which I'll get into a little bit later, but right now I just cannot stand motor blur. I'm not a fan of the keyboard, even though it is pretty accurate. But other than that, it's just not that great of a device when it has motor blur on it. I really wish they would just make a completely stock Android phone, but that will never happen. Alright, next con is non-optimized apps. And what I mean by that is that a lot of apps like Netflix, Hulu, HBO Go, sometimes YouTube, the pixelation in the screen, sometimes because it's distorted. This resolution is a pretty odd resolution. It's actually called QHD, and the resolution is 960 by 540. So a lot of these apps are distorted. They're not proportionate to the way they really should look. And it's like that on a lot of other phones too that are 720p displays as well. So that's really an Android flaw, not necessarily this phone flaw, but there's something to note when you're getting a phone like this. The screen is 4.3 inches, so it is a pretty good size as well. Another thing that I don't like about it is the camera quality. Let me show you some of the pictures that I've taken with it. The camera quality is not up to par. You can tell by playing with phones like the iPhone 4S or even the HTC. You can see pictures are very washed out. They lack color, they lack depth. I'm gonna go through a couple of them. It's one of my dog, and there's a picture of me in the car. Now you see this is actually from the front facing camera, and it didn't come out very well at all. There's a picture of the bathroom floor and my shoe, and that is one of my friend's little boy, and a picture of multivitamins. Picture of here's a picture of the flash going off on my desk. Here's an outdoor picture of my car, and you can see there's a little bit of lag there with zooming in and zooming out, but the camera, my video camera is not focusing. There you go. The camera doesn't really take good pictures. I wasn't really too thrilled with the camera quality, and that's just coming from an iPhone 4S and iPhone 4 really. Next thing on my list is that I can't get over the price. 4G LTE phones are getting more and more popular. I'm really hoping that soon they stop with this trend of $299 for a phone. I can see $299 for a phone if it comes with 32 gigabytes of data inside or something like that. This phone has 16 built in, and it has 16 right here. So in a sense, it is pretty, pretty on par with the iPhone 4S pricing. But when you look at price versus the Motorola RAZR, the regular RAZR, they dropped the price of that. And when that first came out, it was $299. So it's one of those things where you're gonna have to wait until this price goes down before you really decide if you want to get it or not. $299, I don't think it's worth the price. I don't. It's a great phone, don't get me wrong. Let me go ahead and get to what I like about the phone. I do love the huge battery. This battery lasts me a very, very long time. I've used it, I think I went on almost probably about 36, almost 40 hours without having to worry about charging it. And that's a huge plus for me, to not have to be tied to a actual charging apparatus for a long period of time. So the display is huge as well. It has a 4.3 inch display. The resolution is 540 by 960, and this phone looks beautiful. The screen looks great. Colors pop. The screen does suffer from that pen tile display issue that most Motorola phones have, but I don't really focus on it too much because it doesn't bother me. One thing I do like about this phone too is the outdoor viewing. When the brightness is between 80 to 100%, is extremely good. You can see everything really clear. You can read emails, text is very clear, and I really like that in the phone, the fact that I didn't have to worry about squinting or anything like that, or having sunglasses on or things like that. So that's a huge plus as well. Now the phone is pretty snappy through its normal use. You have a gig of RAM inside, a 1.2 dual core processor. So you're getting a lot of speed. You're not going to have to worry about it lagging or anything like that. I haven't experienced really any lag. What they do with this Motorola skin is they kind of hide the lag with transitions, so it makes the experience seem a lot more fluid than it may actually be. But you can't knock them for that. I mean, it still looks nice. Things move really smooth and things perform well. The display, if you're wondering, is a Super AMOLED display, and it has a pixel per inch density of 250. So it's pretty high dense. So text and everything looks really clear. If you want to get closer here, you can see the text and everything looks really good. The colors are pretty accurate, like I said earlier. And the thin design is really good too, because when you look at phones like the Galaxy Nexus, this phone is about 9.5 millimeters. Then you got the HTC Resound, which is extremely thick. And Motorola has really set a standard with this phone. That's why I like this phone so much. Look how thin this phone is. Look at the design. Yes, the battery isn't user removable, but the battery is huge. You don't need to remove it. Right here on the side, you have where you can take out the micro SIM card and the micro SD card. So there's a nice little slot here. It has the IMEI information as well. So you don't have to worry about having to open up the back of the phone to get out any of that stuff. On the back, you have your not so great HD camera, 1080p, 8 megapixel LED flash. There's your speaker grill. Here's a little mirror here for your self-portraits that people like to take a lot. I'm not sure why they would want to use this when they can use a front-facing camera, unless they want to take a really nice picture, I guess. Front-facing camera is right here on the front, right below the Motorola logo. And the design is very industrial. It's very minimal. As you can tell, it doesn't really have that hump anymore like the regular Motorola RAZR. So that's one thing I do like about this phone. It feels much better in the hands because it is thicker. That's what she said. But I think that the phone in general is just it's probably the best. I think it is the best phone. I think it's better than the Resound, and I think it's better than the Galaxy Nexus. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. These are probably the 3 best LTE phones that you can get on Verizon right now. The RAZR is the best one. The Resound, I'm gonna get to the review on this later. I'll let you guys know what I think about that. You guys already know what I think about the Galaxy Nexus. But let's get back to the Droid RAZR. One thing I did notice is because the phone is exactly the same on the top as it is on the bottom, I do this a lot. I pull it out of my pocket and I go like this. And I'm like, oh, and I realize that it's upside down. It literally is identical. You could fold this in half and it'll meet exactly. It's kind of funny because the iPhone, you can kind of grab it and feel it, and you can tell if it's, you know, the top or the bottom. But with this, you can't tell. You might be able to tell by here, but that's really minimal. That's pretty much it, guys, for the review. If you're out of 1 out of 10, I give this about an 8.5. I think it's a great phone. Battery life is a huge plus. Finally, if you have in a 4G LTE area, you can have a phone that you don't have to worry about, oh, I gotta turn off GPS every time I'm done using it. Oh, I have to turn off Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Oh, I have to turn off this, or I need to have my screen brightness set to this much. With this phone, you can use it how you want it. If you have bad eyes and you need your screen to be bright all the time, if you need to use GPS all the time, if you like to sponge off free Wi-Fi networks and you want to keep your Wi-Fi on as much as possible, this is the phone to have. Especially because you can do the Wi-Fi hotspot as well, and you can share that with other devices. And this battery is so big, you know, you don't have to worry about it dying. One thing before I go, I wanted to show you guys the plus side of Motorola making this phone and putting on their skin is their apps that they put on here. Moto Print works extremely well. You can print to any wireless printer just about. That works really great. I actually took some pictures with this and printed it out on some photo paper, and it came out great. That's a huge plus that it's included. Also, they have this MotoCast streaming service that you install an app on your computer, and your pictures, movies, and music all streams directly to your phone. And it works very good. The best part about it is the movies play in just about any format besides MKV, which is the Blu-ray rips. But formats play beautiful. Especially on Wi-Fi, it plays really good. And 4G LTE plays really good. You have a lot of bloatware on here, which is typical from a Verizon phone, so there's not much you can really say about all that. But Motorola does add some functionality. One thing that I do use, that I do want to show you guys, is called Smart Actions. And that is a Motorola app, and it is extremely useful. Basically, you set up a trigger. If I can get out of here. You set up a smart action. So, for example, when I get home, my Wi-Fi will automatically turn on. My ringer will go to loud. My brightness will go down a little bit. When I get in the car and it automatically connects to my Bluetooth unit, it automatically switches on the music. When the battery gets low, it automatically turns off all my data, all that stuff. When I go into a meeting, it looks to my calendar, sees I have a meeting, and it puts my stuff on silent. You can also specify, like your wife or someone special, you can actually specify for it to make noise when certain people call so that you don't get disturbed. Nighttime battery saver. This is perfect for those people who like to leave their phone off the hook. Oh, it's not off the hook, off the charger at night. It's great, man. You can have it triggered to your GPS location, so like I said, if when I get home or when I get to work, it automatically does certain things, which is really, really useful. I wish other skins like TouchWiz and HTC Synth and stuff like that would start using their skins to their potential and start making up other uses for it. Another thing that this phone does really well is it anticipates your habits. It notices that you have your Wi-Fi on. When you get to a certain location, it's going to automatically pop up and ask you. That's without smart actions. So it's really cool how Motorola has taken a skin, which is rather ugly, and really placed a lot of useful utilities inside of it. And this is available on, I think, the Droid 4 and I think the Droid 3 as well. So it's not just exclusive to the Droid RAZR, but the Droid RAZR MAXX. But this review is getting a little long, guys. I'm probably going to have to cut some of this out. I appreciate you guys for watching. As always, please comment, rate, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.
Hey. Oh yeah. Cold world.